Poo Poo Point is located just outside Issaquah, Washington, and is one of the most popular hiking trails in the Seattle area. This means that if you want a parking spot at the trailhead, get there early. It's also where paragliders and hang gliders take off from. Not during the winter, of course, but in the summer months, they're almost constant and a lot of fun to watch. I arrived at the Issaquah trailhead at 8 a.m., crossed the field where the gliders land, and started the ascent. The Issaquah Trail is only 3.8 miles round trip, so it's short enough to do and get back in time for lunch if you start early enough. You're going to gain 1,760 feet in 1.9 miles and get to a total elevation of 1,850 feet. Why does Poo Poo Point have such a memorable name? The name comes from the logging industry about a century ago. Loggers used whistles to communicate from the logging tower operator to the workers down the hill. According to the Issaquah Historical Society, the whistle would be a signal that two logs were tied to a cable ready to be towed. So there you have it. If you had some other more scatological idea in mind as to the origins of the name, well, that's you. The trail is very well maintained, although there are a couple of locations where folks have created a shortcut. Responsible hikers don't use these as they cause erosion of the trail, which is bad for everyone. About halfway up, the lengths of trail that were covered in snow and ice became longer and slipperier, so I took a break and strapped on my crampons. I strongly recommend bringing crampons for any hike in the mountains between November and April. I took my time on the hike, filming segments for this video, so I didn't reach the summit until about 11:30. Once there, I was pleased to find Mount Baker to the north was not just visible, but clearly so. The lake you see there is Lake Sammamish. The town you see down there is the town of Issaquah. It's nestled between Lake Sammamish and Poo Poo Point. If you want to enjoy this trail with perhaps a few less people, I recommend going sometime during the week. It is a fairly short trail, and I know some people have been able to get it done in just one afternoon and get home in time for dinner. Looking first to the west, you see the Olympic Mountains, the city of Bellevue, Lake Sammamish, and Issaquah, and then further to the north, Mount Baker, shining on the horizon. I set up my hammock, got out my flask of hot chocolate, always tastes better when it's been snowing, and my lunch. Relaxing there for about an hour, I watched other hikers come and go, all marveling at the view. If you've seen some of my other videos, you probably recognize that hammock. That's from a company called Issaquah, and they're located in the Ukraine. I'll put a link to their website down below in the description if you want to buy one yourself. The weather started to change around 12:30, so I packed up and started down the hill. Good thing too, because on the way back down, it started snowing pretty good. I saw a lot of slide tracks on the trail where folks without crampons had slipped and slid down the hill. Hopefully they didn't injure themselves. After packing up, I checked around to make sure I hadn't left anything behind, leave no trace. Everything looked good, so down the hill we go. Poo Poo Point is hikeable just about all year round. You just have to have the right gear, crampons, and later in the year, snowshoes. I really enjoyed this hike and the view, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and as always my friends, I hope to see you out there.